Thanks for joining us again. We're going to jump right in. You see everybody's got our red on tonight. We're repping our Chiefs.
It's the first time in 30 years
Something like
that we've actually passed the first part of the playoffs. So we're proud of our boys.
Everybody's hype here in Kansas City. Let's get this win, Mahomes and company.
Yes.
So we'll jump right in. What do you want to talk about tonight? What are we dishing on? What are we spilling on?
So today I figure we can talk a little about reality shows and just kind of see, give our opinion on some of those aspects, because I'm pretty much like a reality show junkie, so to speak. So I watch numerous shows, but I'm glad that some of the sitcoms are coming back too.
Right.
But
because for the longest, that's what it was. If you didn't like reality shows, there really weren't a lot of series or sitcoms to get into, so you had to like them.
True. So the first one we're going to talk about is Carlos King's show, Love and Marriage. It premiered this past Saturday, and I think it's going to take me a minute to really get into it, but I think it's going to be a really good show. Some of the things that they talked about and the friendship, between all the couples, it kind of reminded me of All of Us in a way.
Really?
In a way.
Okay.
But not necessarily. But, the friend aspect of it all. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to ask you some questions about that, see what your thoughts of it is. But anyway, so in the show, at one point in time, Melody, when they were all sitting down for dinner, she said that there was a respectful way to cheat.
What? What?
I kind of understand what she's saying in a way. So think about it. If you think about back in the day, like way back in the day, like Ray Charles. Think about his movie.
When Papa was a Rolling Stone, them type of days.
Okay. So back then, and the reason why I bring up Ray Charles, because in the movie, you kind of seen his life, and you seen where he had another woman. Mm-hmm. His wife never actually really knew about it because he respected her in that aspect. I'm not saying that it was right, but he didn't bring it to her home front. I think that's where old girl's getting at.
I can see where she was going with it, but no, it's all disrespect to me. If you're going to step into the cheating arena, male, female, prepared to be disrespecting your mate. We can kind of talk about it, and as far as is there a better way to do it, I guess yes, don't have everything at the front door, you know what I mean, just be sloppy and messy
don't
about
have
it.
Your side chick calling your wife,
and that reminds me of
the house.
Frankie Lyman too. You remember that movie? He did that too. He had
a lot
of them. It just made me think of a whole bunch of different type of movies, but I can see where she's going with it, but just the straight up yes, no answer is no. If you cheating, that's disrespect.
And besides, men ain't good at cheating anyway. I'm going to just be real with y'all. Y'all some sloppy ass cheaters. And the reason is because y'all change everything you do. Like, women intuition is not necessarily like some superpower we got. It's the fact that you change your routine.
Right. You can evaluate the status quo. If you coming home at a different time, if you don't do things the way you normally do things, you know what I mean? We not meeting up to go to lunch and ththings like that. You totally switch up. So it's easy to pick up on.
Not answering your phone, doing not always have babysitting your phone, like, all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
You cheating. Like,
Pretty much.
You're not hiding anything. You actually giving yourself away.
And at that point, your girl, your respective other in the relationship with you, they just doing a fact finding and gathering the information because they've already read and seen in between the lines, but they know that they got to come to you with something concrete at that point, I feel like.
You got to have your book of evidence. It's like going to trial. Because I'm going to ask you questions
that we already know the answer to, by the way.
And you better answer right.
You better answer right.
But even if you don't answer right the first few times, I got some follow-up. I mean, it's judge and jury at this point.
Absolutely. And then we're going to let you hang yourself from there.
Hanging your damn self.
And that's a spot you don't want to be in. If your girl is coming to you and she's asking these questions about infidelity, where you at, she knows something. Somebody has phoned a friend and called you in. They have a screenshot or a photo. We know what's up.
Now, men always use the excuse as women are emotional cheaters and men can just go out and have sex with someone and it's all good. But that's not even the problem with that is if your woman's cheating on you and you know women are emotional, that means she has basically hung up with you.
She's looking for the upgrade at that point.
Yeah,
your woman's cheating, she's had enough of your shit, usually in most cases, and she's looking for the upgrade at that point.
You about to be replaced. And not only that, women are good at cheating. Men, y'all need to ask your female friends how to cheat if the hell your ass gonna cheat, because y'all poor at doing it. So you need some pointers on how to keep your routine the same while you doing your extracurricular activities.
But let's go a little bit more in detail about the different types of cheating. How we said that women are more, emotional and physical is more a male dominated type of thing. Right. Go into that more and kind of elaborate more on what that means to you.
To me, I mean, men don't know why they cheat. Men are soft creatures, and this, I'm sorry, man, I'm not bashing y'all or anything. This is just my perspective. Y'all are soft creatures to the point where anybody can gas y'all up real fast.
Anything
have
can
you
trigger
feeling
it.
yourself.
I feel like I do agree with you in some aspects to where men think about sex all the time. Y'all wake up and it's on your mind. You know what I mean? Whereas women, even if we're not in a relationship, we can be going through a phase where we're working on ourselves and not have sex for months and be okay with that.
Okay.
But I don't feel like in the same breath a man necessarily does that as much. It's not as prevalent. So not to say that there aren't women who can just physically go out, and come back and act like ain't nothing ever happened.
Because there is some.
Because there are some.
They act like men.
Right. They can cheat like men. But I feel like I do agree with you. Traditionally, it is more of an emotional thing for women.
Right. Okay, so we kind of got where she was going with it. She don't want to be disrespected. Yeah, she don't want to be disrespected. And if she found out the first time he continued to go on about it, then, at that point, it is very disrespectful. Everyone make a mistake, but you don't repeatedly. If a snake bit you, you ain't going to keep touching the same damn snake. You're going to get the hell away.
I'm not going to be anywhere near that damn
Bottom
snake.
line. So anyway, still talking about reality shows and marriage. So the next one we'll talk about is Housewives. This year, they've brought on some new meat, Shamari.
Which I like.
Yeah.
I like that they're mixing it up because for a while I was really interested when it started off, and then somewhere in there I stopped watching, started watching. But now, since the new season started, I'm back on track. So I like that they've done that.
So the new girls, Shamari and Marlo, been beefing lately, all because of the whole fashion thing. And I have to admit that Marlo was right. Her delivery probably was wrong.
That's what was.
But old girl did need some help with her fashion.
A little help.
She wasn't up to par.
No.
Now you can tell, like her interviews and stuff like that, she's getting to where she needs to be.
She's gotten a lot better, and she's taking that advice, Right. But I feel you, Shamari. It's just I'm on for constructive criticism, but your delivery is everything. It's a certain way you have to talk to me and tell me about what I need to work on. So I'm here for it.
Right. Don't try to clown me.
Right.
Don't try to,
especially not in front of the group or throw shade. It's
the
way of going about it.
And then the other thing because friendship is dear to me. Mm-hmm. All of us have our friendship, and so Candy and Portia, they've been beefing for years, ever since the whole Phaedra thing.
Right. I feel like they never really have been friends since then, I feel like.
No, they haven't. Now, when Portia was going through her divorce or whatever, you seen Candy kind of, putting her in her play and this and that and the other. And she didn't have to do that. I think she was genuinely your friend at that time.
Right.
I think Candy is kind of like me. I don't let shit go easy. I think she's trying to let it go, but in all actuality, I don't think she's really in the back of her head, she like, nah, bitch,
Right. I'm still up on what you about. It never really goes away. It's like, okay, I agree to let you be around. We're doing this group things and group events. So, you know, I won't be the Debbie Downer and be like, I don't want to go because she's coming. But I'm going to handle you and deal with you a certain way because you've shown me who you are.
Right. And not only that, because they're not as close as they had been at times, anything Kandi say, Portia kind of blow up behind it a little bit, you know?
Right.
And so when she made the statement like, she ain't my real friend, no.
Y'all ain't real friends. I can see that. That was apparent. You know what I mean? When that was said, I was like, okay, you stating the obvious, but you handle how you deal with associates different than how you deal with friends. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. It's like, you choose different type of words and different care maybe when it comes to delivery of how you really feel to your friends. But if you're not my friend,
maybe not, because me and Shauna and Tara, we say what it is.
Right.
Like, ain't no really sugarcoating it. Like, bitch, no. That was stupid. And then we may get mad at each other, but and if ain't nobody called in colors, they was like, oh, that bitch mad.
Right.
Shit, I'm on punishment.
Let me call him. But still, you know, after a few days, let me call and check on her.
We love each other.
Of course.
We love each other at the end of the day. We got each other's back. And none of that stuff, I mean, we say our opinion, whatever, and that's how it is. That's how family should be, and that's how real friends should be. I shouldn't have to sugarcoat anything to you if you're my friend. Now, I'm not saying I'm gonna be disrespectful, neither, but I shouldn't have to just hold your hand just because you my friend and I don't want you to feel a certain type of way about anything. That, to me, that's not true friendship, and I'm hurting you more than I'm helping you.
True, I agree.
Yeah, so when you talk about shade and stuff like that, just because you're stating your opinion, because those women, they use shade a lot. And I'm like, is everything shade now?
I feel like if somebody gets offended or feels a certain type of way about what was said, then it's shade. That's what people are classifying as shade.
But it's everyone's interpretation. I could say something and don't mean shit by it.
Right.
And that doesn't mean that it's shade.
Right.
It means that that's just what I said at the time. And if you felt some kind of way, then maybe we need to talk about it. And then you can really see where I'm coming from. Mm-hmm. But I think shade is used too loosely. And I think everyone is so easily offended about everything.
I can see that.
Like, everything. And to me, it's getting a little ridiculous. When we was younger, we didn't go through all those emotional problems because our mom was like, you fall, get your ass up, go
deal with
outside
it,
and
right?
play.
You better not be in here crying on the damn couch. I'll never forget. I was like 8 years old. My daddy was like, you get your ass whooped at school. You better not come home and didn't do nothing. I was like, so you telling me to fight? It was just instilled a long time ago, you know, how it was. You know, it wasn't a such thing as bullies and you got friends and you got siblings that go to the school.
Right.
You're going to handle that and you're going to stick behind yours, you know. But now, raising kids in this type of generation, everything is so super sensitive.
Yeah, it is. And you kind of wondering, oh, am I doing this right? Am I doing that right? How are you at school? You have to stay in communication with your kids and everything. I know we switched all the way over, but I mean, it's true. One conversation can lead to another. And once you start talking about bullying and how people are feeling, that can lead to how your kids are feeling and how they're reacting at school, because there's a lot of things that's happening in the school as far as children are concerned. So
yeah, and it starts at home. You know, once you're sure of who you are and you're confident in your own skin, it doesn't matter what anybody has to say about what you're doing, how they feel about how you're going about something. You know what I mean? Everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Right.
And that's how I just generally try to look at stuff.
And I think social media has made it worse for people because they give validation on how many likes they get and how many people are their friends,
right?
And you have
how many comments,
yeah,
and how many people's on live watching them as they go live. You know, it's a lot that goes into that now. It's almost, to some people, it's worth more than having, you know, actual money in your account. Unfortunately,
yes.
So
it is. So I think as mothers, consciously we have to engrave in our kids on what's good, what's not. And signs and just knowing your children. But as a society, we have to do better in regards to that as well. Because they bully grown-ups. I mean, online all day, every day. Like, who have that much time to do that kind of shit?
Trolls. They're not doing anything else constructive, so they wait online in these forums and chats just so they can go back and forth.
And celebrities, they get it real bad.
Unfortunately, you know, it's like you can't even show who you are to the public or be out or go anywhere. But some would argue that's the cost of being famous. That's what you pay.
Yeah,
that's the price that you pay.
That's a huge price.
It is.
I mean,
no privacy. That's you. Hey, you want this fan base. You want the fans to love you and support you and to buy your album, to buy your music, buy your tours, and they've made you all this money. Then that's a part of it to me.
So I'm gonna get into a sensitive subject. Okay. Since we own it. I mean, we rolling.
I mean, you never hold nothing back. I've never known you to hold anything back.
So lately, there's been a lot of allegations against everybody. Everybody's being sexually harassed, sexually offended, and there's so many allegations coming out to the point where I think as a society, yes, we have to protect our women, our kids, and everyone, but at what price? I mean, when does it stop? Are these legitimate claims, all of them? How do we know?
Right.
And I'm not saying any names. I'm not saying I agree, I disagree. I'm just saying, to what price do we continuously like tear down people from one little thing? I mean, when that whole thing came out, I mean, it was like a ball going down the hill. You seen people throwing this person name, that person name, this person. I got off of social media because I just got tired of it.
Yeah. I mean, and it's hard because as a mom, I look at everything and how it affects my kids. So for my girls, you know, and being a woman, I'm like, wow, you know what I mean? Anytime you kind of shun or don't take at face value the claims of the women who have been victimized, you're putting them in a box to say, I shouldn't have even said anything.
Right.
I shouldn't have brought it to the forefront. I knew you wouldn't care. I knew you wouldn't believe me. And then you have all of these women and these people that have been victimized and they're hurting and they're living out this hurt and they don't have an outlet, and that's not fair. You know what I'm saying? And I would never want my daughter or any woman that I know to be put in that place. But having a young son that is growing and learning, if he's somewhere and makes a bad decision, maybe just being in the wrong place at the wrong time, and somebody makes an accusation, I would want him to have a full due process. Right. I would want all the fact finding. I would want everything to come out before everybody started bashing him and disowning him, because that's the same low. The same low that I'm talking about for my daughters. It's the same low for him.
It's a double-edged sword.
It is. And
you
it's
damned
really,
if you do, you damned if you don't.
It's a really sensitive subject.
It is. So that's why we're going to get off that now.
Okay. Well, we spoke our piece about it, but not necessarily taking a stake in the sand. I feel like you just have to have that open communication, especially with your kids. That way, if anything is ever going on, then an adult, a parent, you know, a person that has their best interests at heart can go in and make the conscious best decision for that situation.
I definitely had that talk with my son when he went off to college.
Absolutely.
And even in high school, like, be mindful who you hang around. Don't go to any young girls' homes and things like that.
Where nobody's,
where
no
adults.
Exactly, because then it becomes a situation where you just put yourself in a he says, she says situation.
Absolutely. And you see a lot of young men losing scholarships and things like that. And it come up years later that the accusations was false. I mean,
they don't ever get those opportunities back.
Never.
They never get those opportunities back. And a lot of times their reputation is tarnished after that. You know, no other teams are picking them up. Nobody else is considering them.
Or it's just too late. You've been in jail all these years.
Right.
You're done.
Right. And so I guess a little bit more so, I feel like they should probably step up the judicial process or look into holding these people accountable.
Oh yeah.
If they're making a false claim about, you know, somebody assaulting you or sexually assaulting you, and it comes out to be totally false and you made that up,
they need to go to jail. But all I can say is mothers, fathers, parents, grandparents, whomever life you're in, speak to your daughters, speak to your sons.
Have that open line of communication. That's the most important thing. Is don't have your kids or, you know, your children being afraid to talk to you about everyday situations in life, because guess what? They're still going to go through it. It just means that they're out there on their own figuring it out, and that's the worst place you would ever want them to be. Trial and error is not the way to go. It's
terrible. So, any subjects or any learning things you can teach us today? Like,
well, there is one thing I wanted to talk about. Okay. So, over the weekend, I noticed a couple of things, and it had to do a lot with women and their appearance and what they decide to do with their hair.
Yes.
And you know, I like to switch my hair up, not because I'm bald headed, but because I'm very versatile and I just love to switch it up. You know what I mean? I love switching my looks up.
Right.
So first thing is I saw that Meek Mill tweeted, "Leave the wigs alone, ladies. Leave the lace fronts alone." What's your thoughts?
I like some of them, and then there's some bad ones. I mean, it is. It really is. Right. But some of them look really, really nice.
Right.
I know why women do it. I'm natural, so in the summertime, I have to wear my hair curly. I wet it and go. In the wintertime, I'm able to flat iron my hair and wear it curly or straight or however I want to do it. Because I can't wet my hair every day in the wintertime. Right. Hell, we gonna get all this Arctic weather this weekend.
And that's one of the reasons why I don't. So I wear extensions or weave or whatever just because when I leave the house, and let's say I had to go to work all day, but then you've got happy hour or you've got a meeting on your lunch, I need to look the same way that I left the house all the rest of the day. But with the elements, if it rained, if it's windy, if it snowed, if it's humid, it can totally have an effect on how you look that day. And I just have always taken pride in my appearance and putting forth a good impression. I mean, my hair done since I was probably 16 years old, honestly. And to me, it's just second nature. I don't even think about it. But for my girls, I encourage them to be natural. They're both natural, and they love their natural hair, you know? And it's more so to me about do what you love and do what your pockets allow first and foremost.
Right.
But do what you love and do what makes you feel good. I mean, I'm trying to like lace fronts and wigs. They're growing on me, you know.
I did one for my wedding.
It's a protective style, but I don't like the lace front door. You can see it.
Yeah.
You can see it. I'm trying to get over the fact that
some of them you can.
They have this new melting technique or something like that.
Is there?
Something, but some of them do look really good.
So I had one for my wedding when I got married, mainly because I'm natural and I knew my hair wasn't going to stand up the whole day. And when we went off on our honeymoon, I wanted to be able to still look nice. So that was the only time I got it. I mean, you got to shave your hair, your lines. I mean, I was like, wait a minute, am I going to go bald or what's going on?
Yes.
But I liked it, and I liked seeing some of the women change up their colors and stuff like that. Now, what was the comment that Peter said, though?
Girl, first of all, Peter doesn't need to be making any type of comments. He just needs to stay at the bottom of the barrel where he's been at. Just stay there, sir. So he makes a comment. He felt the need to chime in on the women in their hair. If you are darker than him, he doesn't feel he's pretty dark.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel like dark skinned ladies should be wearing blonde hair, bright blonde hair.
Well, I kind of agree with Peter. I done seen some pictures, and I done seen some people walking down the street. Come on now, ladies. Let's be if you're gonna wear the weave, let's be realistic about it. Let's not.
I have seen some. Now, my thing is let's let it be right. Do it right. You know, we don't want to see no tracks laying up on the top of your hair.
No.
Don't have silky straight down
hair.
But
doing it right has to do with going with
and taco meat up here. Don't do that. Don't do that. But what I am saying is that I have seen some very nice, well put together platinum blonde, different shades of blonde on darker skin. And matter of fact, it was a lace front, and it looked really good. So I feel like it just
How
depends.
dark?
Yeah, well, she was probably about Peter's dark.
Really?
Yes. I'm going to show you a picture.
And it was nice.
It actually looked nice. It was very professionally done. I think it was like Tokyo Styles or something like that. One of his wigs or maybe another professional stylist. And that's the other thing. All of these trends, you know, that are online and all these celebrities that have this stuff, it's not for everyday wear and everyday use. Like,
it's protecting their hair because they're doing different things all the time.
It's protecting their hair, but they don't leave that stuff in for weeks and a couple weeks and a month. And that's the thing where a lot of people get it misconstrued. You know, how hard is it from your daily schedule, if you work and have children and you have responsibilities, to go get your hair done and make time, once a week to get the lace redone, twice a week?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's excessive to me. So.
Get in the shower and go.
That's
if
excessive.
I'm not, I go every 2 weeks. LaRon hooked me up, and other than that, in the summertime, I get in the shower and put on my conditioner. I got a hairdo. So anyway, this 10-year challenge, because all this is going on in appearance.
Right.
So now they have the 10-year challenge going on Instagram, Facebook.
I saw that. Did you participate?
No, I didn't.
No,
I still look the same.
Right.
So I don't have to participate. Now, some of them, I ain't even gonna do it.
Go ahead.
No.
Go ahead. Tell us. We spilling. Go ahead.
So some of them was showing their pictures. All they did was put on a whole bunch of fucking makeup.
Yeah.
You didn't glow up.
Yeah.
You just painted your face.
That's it.
I mean,
I saw a lot of natural photos to like you said, fully painted on, caked on makeup.
Right.
Or in some cases, did you see Caitlyn Jenner's? She was Bruce and now she's Caitlyn. Hers wins, hands down. Hers wins.
Did she post that?
She did. Or maybe one of the blogs or something went in.
We don't know, but that was a win.
She wins.
But even somebody did it for little Kylie.
Yeah.
Now,
thing.
and then someone put up a post said that they don't see all the women with the fake body parts putting up their 10-year.
Now that is true. I don't feel like I have either, because they don't want people to know that they've had all this work done. But stand by your work. You paid for it.
Exactly.
You paid for it.
You
stand
went and
by
did
your
it.
work. You went under the knife. Don't be ashamed of it or embarrassed to not say that you're natural now, because we know.
Now, I'm not saying that some of the surgeries look horrible or some of them are really nice, but at the end of the day, if you spent your money, you did it. Live with it. That's you.
Own up to it.
You made the choice.
Right.
Hell, a couple years ago, I probably would have got a tummy tuck. I'm just too scared to have surgery.
So that's a whole nother question. How do you feel about plastic surgery? Is it something that you would be open to, or?
So years ago, a long time ago, I used to be way smaller. And I contemplated getting some breasts because I had A cups. And look at there. All these years later, I done grew me some D's. I grew them all by myself.
And
that would have been a waste of money.
Girl, you would have been real mad.
But I'm not buying no booty. I'm not buying any of that. I was always blessed with a nice little pushing on my butt. So I'm good there. But after having kids, I did contemplate, because I was always a smaller woman, to go and get a tummy tuck. I'm just a scaredy cat, so I never did it. But I got with Marquita, which is her sister. We're gonna have her on the show one day.
Absolutely. Have to have
and before we went to Barbados, and we was going and getting fit and stuff, and I actually lost that weight that I thought I would never lose.
Exactly.
And that was amazing. So I didn't think I would ever get rid of it. Mm-hmm. And surprisingly, it was just kind of like, one day I woke up, it was like, dang, it worked.
Exactly. And you know what? I'll say this. I feel like I'm not against plastic surgery, because my thing is, as women, we go through so much, and there's so many standards, and we go through so much. If you can afford it, just do it safely. If you want to do it, just do it safely. That's my whole thing. But stand by it. Mm-hmm. If you got little bitty pencil stick legs and you got the Brazilian butt lift, we know. Just stand by your diaper booty and say that you've had some work done. That's all I'm saying.
Don't do that, sis. Don't do that.
Have them thicken your legs up. That's my point. Thicken your legs up.
Just
put some weight on. Or do it in moderation.
Yeah.
You know, but it looks very sickly to have little stick legs and then you've got this big old booty.
And then some of them had like bad surgeries where it was like K. Michelle was really speaking out about her going through her sickness at that time, and I'm glad she did, because you've seen other women coming out speaking about it as well, and she looked good the way she is now.
Right. I can understand why she would have went on a night, but again, that just speaks to all the pressures of society and, you know, being accepted and finding you a man. And I like that my husband has always told me, you don't ever have to worry about getting surgery. I like you just the way you are. Even when I was bigger, even when, you know, after you have kids, you feel really insecure and apprehensive about it, you know? So it was always good to have him reassuring me that he didn't want me to have that. But then when you and I started working out and we got consistent on our workouts and we actually got to see those results, I felt it too. Like,
I mean, because we could see it in one another.
Yes, it was so easy. And, you know, being younger, our metabolism is so quick. We didn't have to do much. Just to maintain our weight.
I didn't do shit.
You didn't. You could eat whatever you wanted. You didn't have to do that. And now you have to be intentional with your workouts and taking care of your body and
what you're eating.
Exactly.
So just bringing that up, we're going to have to get Marquita on here sooner than later. We didn't mean to push that away, but we did. So
exactly. We need some expert advice on getting it right and getting it tight.
And the summer is coming up, ladies. So Marquita, if you're watching, clear your schedule. We need you in. These ladies are getting fit for the summer, so we're going to bring her in. Anything else for our closing?
I think we've kind of dished on everything, spilled on everything we wanted to talk about.
We have to tell them. So there is a email address in our bio if you want to go ahead and send in any topics or write in if there's something that you want to spill on, and we can either say it for you on the show or
anonymously. If you just want to get our thoughts on it and want us to objectively just talk about it, then we'd love to hear from you. Just send it to us and we'll talk about it.
And the email is in the bio.